Hello, lovely Capricorn risings like myself. If you are a Capricorn sun watching this, that's completely fine, but it will be more accurate for a rising sign. So this is the weekly horoscope from the 9th to the 15th of December, and let's just get into it. So on the 9th of December, the moon in Aries will be trining Mars in Leo in your 8th house. So although energy is high when it comes to investing and like working on your finances and also trusting people and working on your sort of mental health, you are also very frustrated by this. It could be that you're trying to open up to somebody and they're just not picking up what you're putting down. They're throwing the olive branch in your face, or you have a frustration over the reason why you can't trust people. You might also be very frustrated over finances as well. Then on the 11th, the moon in Taurus will square Mars and Leo in that 8th house again. So this is an energy of I am frustrated about something and I'm going to voice it and then I'm going to regret it afterwards. So just be careful about saying something around money or intimacy or trust, or maybe popping the L word too early or something along those lines, where it's like, I really regret saying that. So maybe just vet everything you're going to say in your mind first before you do it. On the 12th of December, we have an interesting thing going on. We have Venus in Aquarius in your 2nd house of income and finances, conjunct Pluto opposing Mars and Leo in that 8th house. This is a real energy of something with money. You could be very obsessed about money, or there's an intensity, an anxiety or fear around finances and investing and money. Could be that you're like, I don't have enough money to be able to invest in my future, or there's just some anxiety or fears around the amount of money that you make. So just be careful about that. It'll all be fine. It's all okay. On the 15th, we have Mercury direct in Sagittarius in your 12th house of mental health. So this is good energy for getting back on track with feeling good with your mental health and conquering those anxieties and fears. And you might also find that your communication is better when you tell people how you feel, your emotions. They understand you, they don't judge you, they're more open and receptive to that. And you're just able to also communicate how you feel more easily as well. Then on the same day, we have a Gemini full moon in your 6th house of co-workers and physical health. So this is a great energy for letting go of something to do with either a project you've worked with a co-worker. You could be letting go of a particular co-worker because you're moving on to a new job and you're saying goodbye to this group of co-workers. You could also be leaving a particular physical health regime that you've been doing because you're moving on to a new one in the new year, getting over an injury, for example, or again, even joining a new gym because you're like, I want to do like Pilates in the new year or something. I don't want to do heavy weight training, vice versa, whatever. This is a good full moon, like it's cathartic and it's quite long awaited. So this is not something you'll be like, oh, I have to let go of this. It's like, I want to let go of it. So Capricorn, that was your reading for the week. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll move on to the next. Hello, lovely Aquarius risings. If you're an Aquarius sun and you're watching this, that's completely fine, but it will be more accurate if you're an Aquarius rising. So let's just get straight into it. So on the 9th of December, the moon in Aries will be trining Mars in Leo in your 7th house of committed relationships. So although energy is high when it comes to relationships, you are frustrated by them. And again, I like to give different options in astrology. So if you're not in a committed relationship, it could be either a relationship you want a commitment from, that you can't get a commitment from, or it could be like a business or work partner you have a particular contract with. This could even be a landlord. On the 11th, the moon in Taurus will be squaring Mars and Leo, and again, that's in the 7th house. So this is frustrating energy, and this is you will say something you regret and kind of get into a needless argument. So kind of just bite your tongue when it comes to either a relationship or someone you have a contract with, because it can really backfire on you. So if you don't think you should say it, or you're like, ooh, just don't say it. Or if you do end up saying it and you're like, ah, shit, I've said it, just be like, I am so sorry. I am so frustrated right now. Blame Mars and Leo, and they'll probably look at you like you're mad, but oh well. On the 12th, we have Venus in Aquarius in your 1st house of self, conjunct Pluto opposite Mars and Leo in that 7th house of committed relationships. So this is obsessive, intense energy, and it's also triggers some anxiety and fear. So you could find that your identity and your sense of self is a mismatch with your committed relationships. Either you don't feel good enough for a committed relationship in yourself, in your appearance, or you feel like this relationship or this contract is tying you down and it's stopping you from really being who you want to be. So there's some obsession over this. You could find that your identity and your sense of purpose is really sort of like linked to this 7th house. So I would say don't get too wrapped up in the anxiety and the obsession of it, and just kind of sit back and see it from more of an objective kind of stance. On the 15th, we have Mercury direct in Sagittarius in your 11th house of friendships and social networking. So this is a great energy for speaking to friends on the level and they understand you. You know, humor is better, like they understand your jokes more now, the retrograde's gone. You are able to get back on track with things with friendships. So if you had a friendship delay where you're like, you can't see each other because the diaries are too full, it marries up now. It's just a good energy for moving forward and being able to communicate with friendships. On the same day, we have a Gemini full moon in your 5th house of dating and creativity. This is a good full moon for cathartic energy and letting go of something you've been meaning to. So this is not like, oh, I'm ending a period of dating somebody, it's so sad. It's like, oh, I've kind of wanted to do that. So this is either someone that you're dating or like someone you've been speaking to on the phone, or it could be like a creative project you've been working on because you're moving on to a new creative project or a new hobby in the new year, for example. Again, this is something you want to let go of. So that was your reading, Aquarius. Super quick, but I don't like to do these for too long. If you liked it, please give the video a like, and I hope you enjoy your week, and I'll move on to the next. Hello, Pisces risings. If you're a Pisces sun and you're watching this, that's completely fine, but I will say this is going to be much more accurate for a Pisces rising. So this is the weekly horoscope from the 9th to the 15th of December, and let's just get going. So on the 9th of December, the moon in Aries will be trining Mars in Leo in your 6th house of co-workers and physical health. So although energy is high with maybe like a diet or a physical health regime, you're exercising, you're also getting frustrated by this. Either the results are not paying off or you're just getting injured a lot. There's just a bit of frustration here. You could also find that you're frustrated with a co-worker because that is very likely. On the 11th, the moon in Taurus will square Mars and Leo again in that 6th house. So again, this is frustrating, but it's also getting into a needless argument that you don't need to get into, and you say something you regret. So be careful with co-workers and saying something that you just can't take back, or getting angry with someone at the gym, for example, and it just becomes a bit of a, well, I can't show my face there now, that kind of energy. So just be a bit more reserved. On the 12th, we have Venus in Aquarius in the 12th house of mental health, conjunct Pluto, opposing Mars and Leo in that 6th house. So there's a real clash of the healths here. So this could be that you are very sort of obsessed and intense, and also have some anxiety and fears around mental health affecting your physical health, or vice versa, or that mental health affecting your co-workers as well. So this is quite obsessive. You could get really fixated on this, and it could bring out some anxieties and fears. So around this time on the 12th, from the 11th to the 12th, really focus on centering yourself and not getting too sort of fixated on what other people think of you and how that affects your mental health. On the 15th of December, Mercury will be direct in Sagittarius in your 10th house of career. So this is a good energy for getting back on track with your career and focusing on communicating really well with co-workers and your bosses and higher management. If you work for yourself, this is just communicating well with, clients, and moving ahead and getting back on track. So there's no delays now, you can move forward on projects. On the same day, we have a Gemini full moon in the 4th house of home and family. Great energy for letting go of something. This is a nice, cathartic, happy ending, actually. It's a long-awaited ending. You're meant to do this. It's kind of like you won't really care either way what happens. So you could be finishing up being in a home that you've been in for a while. You're moving to a new home. You could be moving to a new location. You could be ending a period of a DIY project in the home, for example. And with family, this is a little bit more harder to decipher because I don't really see this as like cutting off family ties, although you could be if you've been wanting to for a while. This is more just finishing up something with a family member that you've been working on together. So Pisces, that was your reading for the week, and I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, that was all of the readings done. So I hope everyone enjoyed their reading, and I'll move on to the next reading, which will be the Gemini full moon. So yeah, thanks for watching.